Well, John, how have you and the players been able to lift spirits around this place this week?
We just have to get straight back on it really with training and making sure that we're at it from the very first thing we do on Monday morning. We've had 3 good training days. I think for the most part of this season, training's been really good, and the spirit in the camp's been really good. We just have to make sure we translate that now into better performances and results. But I think certainly to bounce back from the disappointment of Friday night and to come back in here and be as good as we've been is a positive sign. We just need to make sure that we build upon that when we get back in here on Friday and take it into the game Saturday.
With the game last Friday, has that had much of a knock-on effect with the schedule this week, or is it back to normal?
It's back to normal this week. So we had a weekend without any training, which is rare, back in on Monday, so just normal schedule this week.
We said about it on Friday night, but Terry Devlin, one of those who was one of the only positives. How can he build on that really good performance now?
Yeah, I don't think Terry was one of the only positives from Friday night. I thought there were very few positives on Tuesday when we played Cardiff, but I thought there were plenty of positives on Friday night. So, in terms of what Terry has to do, if selected again, I think he's got to put in a really good, solid performance and do everything he can to try and keep his place in the side.
Whole Saturday, what are you expecting from them?
Really interesting way of playing. I think anyone that's seen them this year knows that they play in a different way, a lot of freedom, a lot of rotation, sort of players popping up everywhere, and it's a really good style of football and really interesting to watch. So they've had some really good results this season, and I think they're going to be a really tough side to play against.
Not that you'll reveal anything, of course, but are there any sort of areas where you think you can exploit at the weekend?
I think the fact that Hull want to play and they want to play relentlessly, I think always gives you an opportunity to possibly catch them out on the press. But they're really good at it, and they've got 11 players that are really comfortable on the ball, including the goalkeeper. So there's always areas I think where sides can be exposed, and we've been trying to work on that this week.
Like you said, plenty of positives Friday, building on that performance from Tuesday. But where do you really want to see those key improvements now ahead of what will be a busy 7 days starting Saturday?
I think first of all we've got to go into the game at the weekend and get better in the key moments of the game that have been letting us down. It was really fine margins again on Friday night, where we go from one end of the pitch, nearly having pressed Sheffield Wednesday right into the corner. They managed to escape out of it, and Michael Smith puts the ball in the top corner. So the small moments of the game, in those games where we've been in them, we've been good. We have to be a lot better at to come out with better results, and I think going forward, just ensuring that when we do go away from home, we do keep things nice and solid. We don't give away anything early like we have done in previous away games, and try and make sure we make it as difficult as possible for opposition.
A couple of tough results, of course, last week. How difficult was it for you to try and balance freshening things up in terms of personnel between sort of trying to find a consistent 11 in terms of team selection?
I mean, we clearly didn't have a consistent 11 across the week because we made changes going into the Tuesday game. We made a couple of changes to freshen things up, and then I think it was 5 changes going into the Friday game, which I felt we needed to do from a performance and a physical standpoint, having had the 2 away games and on the second away game having not performed. So it is difficult when you have those games in such a short space of time, and you have that away travel. You've got to try and find the right blend. We've got that again coming up this week with an away game at Hull and an away game at Plymouth before we're back at home on the Saturday, and that's the key to try and get the best out of the squad.
Like you say, it's coming up again with a trip to Hull and then complete opposite end of the country to Plymouth. Is there any sort of challenges that may put up?
Just the physical challenge, really, making sure that we're fresh enough to go into the game and give a good account of ourselves. And we didn't do that well enough, I think, against Cardiff. But to be honest, I don't think it was the physical side of the game. I'm not entirely sure it helped. So a lot of the sides that played the back-to-back away games, didn't necessarily have a huge amount of joy across them. But I think there's 2 ways we can look at that. You look at it as an excuse, or look at it as an opportunity, and we've got an opportunity to go away from home twice in a week and pick up some points, and that's what we're going to try and do. And we've got to make sure we've got everything right away from what we do here on the training pitch to ensure that we're physically right at it, and then go from there.
What does the schedule look like for the players for the rest of the week?
Off tomorrow, then back in Friday, travelling up to Hull. And then we've got the game on Saturday.
And just finally, announced yesterday that more than 1,900 Pompey fans are making the long trip up, which is just fantastic support, isn't it?
Yeah, the support's been incredible this season. I can keep talking about it. The amount of support that we had, even on Tuesday evening, last Tuesday evening against Cardiff, it was still brilliant despite the performance. And we saw it again. We were very close to sort of breaking the duck at Fratton Park. We didn't quite manage to do it, and the fact that we've got so many people travelling up to Hull, I think it's a big incentive for the players and for the staff and everyone at the football club to make sure that we do go and put on a performance. And we're really focused on doing that.